Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the peak-to-peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
Out in the meadow, in tall grass, below the castle, dirt got wedged under our nails when we were little. Then we got taller, sprayed in the collar, learned to lament. If you can't sit still to feel unfulfilled, suddenly you're less than.
Welcome back to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. I'm Art DeVitalis.
And I'm Cynthia Davis. Now, for this week's news.
This episode is brought to you by the Mineshaft Restaurant, Mountain Man Outdoor Store, Hart's Backhoe, Brightwood Music, Very Nice Brewing Company, and of course, the Mountaineer newspaper.
In a tragedy, in a mask, the calamity of monotony left to those who can't contrast.
For our lead story today, we talked to Bonnie Albrecht for an update on COVID-19 in Gilpin County.
My name is Bonnie Albrecht, and I'm a public health coordinator for Gilpin County Public Health. Overall, we have had, since last March, 219 cases total and 11 hospitalizations. 8 of those cases are in the last week. We've had 3 hospitalizations in the last month. Just to this past weekend, we've had 4 cases total again, which is a little high for us. With vaccines, right now we have 44.9% of our residents have had at least 1 dose of vaccine, and we have 29% are fully vaccinated. The clinics that we've held in Gilpin County, we've done 3,092 people total, and 1,865 first doses have been administered at our Gilpin County clinic. As a county, we have extended the governor's public health order to keep the dial in place until May 15th, which means that we are staying in level green up to 500 people capacity, 50% of capacity until May 15th, and then we will move to level clear, which much of the metro area is doing the same thing on May 15th. We'll move to level clear and restrictions will be lifted, and we'll be monitoring until August. All restrictions except potentially the mask order will still stay in place for a bit longer.
So, COVID-19 is still among us, but what can we do to keep the downward trend continuing?
I am hopeful, but I can't say definitely at this point. I know that all the experts around this are saying we need 70 to 80% of our population vaccinated to have herd immunity, and we need to continue wearing masks until then. Right now, at almost 30% of our population being vaccinated, it seems like it'll be a while till we get to that point. Again, I'm not certain. I'm hoping by the time the summer comes, we will be a little bit more in the clear. It's the same as it has been, and definitely stay home if you're sick, even with mild symptoms. Hygiene is important, hand washing, mask wearing when you're out in public, and keeping the distance. And those are the main things, and they have been helping. And if you are willing, please get a vaccine. There are a lot of vaccines available right now. Everybody is eligible over the age of 18 up here, because we're only getting Moderna at this point. Any clinics that have Pfizer, it's over 16. People are eligible. So if you can get one, please do. In Gilpin County, I think we're only going to be getting Moderna. Won't be giving too many first doses after this coming week. We have an influx of vaccines coming in this week, and we're hoping to get those out to the rest of the people on our list. We'll have a limited supply, but it will be Moderna for us for the rest of the time.
Thankfully, a return to normalcy is on the tip of everyone's tongue these days, with May 15th likely to be a celebratory day.
We've been kind of steady for the last couple of months, about 8 to 10 a week. So we have gone down since December, but it's still staying steady, 8 to 10 a week. Wherever you're going, you need to look into what the rules are in that area that you're going to and make sure you're following those. Telling people to have patience. We are making progress, and it's going to be a little bit longer, but we are getting there. Hopefully it'll be sooner than later.
Thanks, Bonnie, for the update, and we look forward to the day we're clear.
to the news desk.
The High Country Auxiliary is hosting an in-person silent auction to support their local first responders. The event will take place May 15th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Gilpin Arts Museum. For more information or to purchase your tickets, check out highcountryauxiliary.com.
Free COVID tests are available at the Nederland Community Center every Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. No appointment or ID is required.
The Mountaineer newspaper is working on senior profiles during all of April and May. If you're a high school senior, please reach out to us at publisher1977@gmail.com for more information. We have student interns and staff reporters to help create your story for this annual celebration of graduation.
Peak to Peak musician and artist, we're looking for you. Would you like a featured story in the Mountaineer? We cover all news of the Peak to Peak, including business and artist profiles. We also offer features on our podcast, website, and social media. Right now, these are completed through email with our journalist, but when things open back up, it will be in person. We are your community newspaper. If interested, email publisher1977@gmail.com to get on the list for upcoming editions.
Gilpin County has COVID-19 testing at Gilpin County Public Health at 101 Norton Drive every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can sign up at primarybio.com/L/CDPHE. Please pre-register prior to arrival.
And now we'll head to Dango Rose for an interview with Ray Smith and Cari Miner, a.k.a. StrangeByrds. Here you go, Dango.
All right, this is Dango Rose with the Mountaineer Everybody's Listening podcast. Today, my guests are Ray Smith and Cari Miner, the StrangeByrds. It's wonderful to see both of you. Of course, our listeners are not seeing, so it's wonderful to hear both of you today. How are you guys doing?
Correct. We're good.
We're good.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to be here. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. It comes to reckoning that I think we first connected many years ago through a mutual friend of ours, Chyrisse, one of the wonderful figures of the Nederland community for so many years. Yeah, I think that's when we first met, and the first time I heard you was actually playing at a benefit concert at E-Town. And so the StrangeByrds has been your project for 10 years now, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct, yep.
Cool. That's a good long run. How does it feel?
We love playing together. Cari and I met through music and started playing together and then fell in love. And so it's a labor of love no matter what we're doing, you know.
Yeah, we met up at Folks Fest in 1999, actually. Song school up there.
Oh, wow.
So we've actually been together 21 years.
22 coming up on.
Yeah.
And we had 5 albums that we did before we took on the moniker of StrangeByrds.
2011.
That was when we sort of just really defined our sound, acoustically mostly. Just starting out too in that period, the Elephant Revival. I remember you playing Acoustic Coffee House in Ned, and then you guys skyrocketed. We have a slower arc, but
well, yours is still going, so that's.
We have a lot of fun, We just started touring in the last 5 years and going to the Midwest and Pacific Northwest and East Coast, and then playing locally and getting into the house concert scene, which we really like a lot because I write a lot of ballads from history.
Yeah.
And have a big hunger for history, especially Colorado history and the Midwest where I'm from.
Cari, have you written songs about the local history in like Gilpin and Nederland?
I've written about Barker Dam. It used to be the land of Ezra and Hannah Barker. And so I wrote Skeleton Tree about that.
It's on our last album.
Yep. And I've written a song, Henny Walker, about, I read the book, Tomboy Bride, about the first woman to give birth up in Leadville. And then I read the book, Prayers for Sale by Sandra Dallas, which was about like a woman much older who had been in Leadville all those years and now is in her 80s in like the early 1930s and looking back over her life. And I was so moved by that I wrote a song called Henny Walker.
On the new album, we have a song called Bugtown that is about the ladies of the night in Boulder back in the mining days.
About the Jezebels and the Vixens back in the late 20s and 30s in Boulder. There was a whole section of Boulder called Bugtown, and canyon was actually Water Street, and many of the houses were along Water Street where these gals worked. And yeah, and then there's a whole history around that, like the Spanish flu came in and killed a lot of these young girls in their teens, and they're buried in unnamed graves up in Columbia Cemetery.
That's kind of where it started. You were walking around Columbia Cemetery and you saw gravestones.
And a friend had told me about that. And I was caretaking my mom from last March 15th, a year ago, through the fall, September, and then from November till January up here. Mm-hmm. And so while we were living in Chautauqua, because we weren't sure she could live up here, we lived there for 6 months, and I would often run every morning. And one of my runs was actually to go down the hill into Columbia and just run through that cemetery. And I kind of was looking for all these gals, and I was looking at names. And so then I read about a true story at the Carnegie Library about this woman, Trixie Lee. Wow. And it just took off from there. So
yeah, it's a great song with a really sort of ominous vibe to it, a little toy piano going through the Leslie, and
we had fun. I think part of what COVID did for us being in isolation was because we do own our own studio, is that we had like a lot of the album written with exception of about 5 songs. And it just gave us time to actually add more to these songs and just make them a little richer and kind of add like, preludes to certain songs, and we've kind of a landscape. We're kind of calling it a landscape of songs, this album,
Cool. Yeah, it kind of sounds like almost like these timepieces that you're capturing, and then having the space to sort of create them in a new way because of the pandemic year, in a sense.
We had endless time. We usually would try to do an album in a couple of weeks, mix it, get it mastered, print it, And
I don't think we've ever done an album in a couple of weeks.
Yes, we actually have.
Really?
Yeah, when Court and James produced us.
Right.
Yeah, but so it was fortunate. I mean, it's unfortunate to be stuck home because of the reasons, but we were able to really concentrate on the record. And, I've got a song about our local town, about Nederland, and a lot of towns like it, called Tidal Wave, where it's about the money coming into town that really changes the town's face,
Yeah.
And the feel of the town.
Yeah. And, how you can't go back.
Right.
I love Nederland for what it was, and I love Nederland now for what it is, but definitely has been through some major changes, and depending on where you are on the economic scale, will you be able to stay there? So
right. We think about our sons, who are all like my oldest son, just starting to look for a house now, and it's just like almost impossible, because all the money coming in.
A lot of dough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boulder County specifically, and of course, Nederland's part of Boulder County. So.
Yeah.
We're lucky. We're up here in Gilpin in Rollinsville, and I've been here 25 years. And then Cari moved in a while back.
9 years ago.
And we got married, and we get to.
We didn't have the baby though.
We're
right.
We got married.
We're away from it all, which is nice.
Yeah. So. We have 3 kids from my previous marriage, so.
Wonderful. And so that first 10 years before the StrangeByrds, because it sounds like you met in 99, did you go by Cari
Minor and Ray Smith?
Okay, got it.
We tried one name, Sleight of Hand, and we were booked in Salida and Buena Vista, and people thought they were coming to a magic show.
Well, then we did have the band name Fat Chance. It was PhatChants, and we used to play First Street and different places in town. But the band, I mean, it's so hard to have a band, it just when we boiled it down to the 2 of us, finally when we took on our moniker, and then it became impossible to have a band around 2008. Like there was no money for band. And so we were paying the band out of our pocket and taking home $25. So we said, let's not do the band. And we focused on our acoustic selves, and that is where it developed.
Started going to the FAI, Folk Alliance International
Alliance
things in Southwest, and meeting and greeting people, doing showcases, and for traveling purposes, as a couple, it was way easier.
Well, it's funny. We got booked at Bohemian Nights by going to Kansas City to do the FAI.
Isn't that funny how the music industry actually works?
It's like if we knocked on their door, they've said, "No, we'll talk later."
Yeah, wow, that's great. And so you've refined your sound in that way as well, to be a duo. And it sounds like you're drawing on a rich history and wellspring for the songs and creating ballads and meaningful, important songs. And then at like the core, you're also like rock and roll. So like, how would you?
Yeah,
we are.
My favorite singer-songwriter is Kathleen Edwards. I just totally dig her, and especially the album that Bon Iver produced for her, and they wrote together, Voyager. So I love her because she's from Canada, and she is a folk artist in the sense of like her, her rich lyrics and her stories. And I love that. I love messages. I think this album,
folk rocker.
It's
right.
It's going to be a little more political. It's definitely a little more rockin'. We definitely have more full band on it. And, it's been really fun.
But it goes like this. I mean, it's like, again, it's kind of like a journey, a landscape of songs from being out of town and seeing little towns that were disappearing in the Midwest. And then, just our travels taught us a lot about people in other places.
We went up to Rollins, Wyoming to do some shows, and we went downtown one day to get a cup of coffee.
Saturday morning.
And it was a beautiful downtown. Like everything was kept up, like all the old buildings and the facades and everything, but it was all boarded up. Every building except for the thrift store. And when we asked where we could find a good cup of coffee in town, we were told to go back out to the highway to the McDonald's.
Where can people find your music? What's the best way to support you?
And Bandcamp is the best way to support us.
Through our website.
And through our website, StrangeByrds, all one word, BYRDS.
.com. And we have links to Bandcamp and videos and a booking link and whatever you need up there.
And we're on iTunes, and we're on Apple Music, and
we're in all the usual places,
Yeah.
And my studio, or our studio, is on Facebook, Bird Nest Recording. So.
And that's with a Y as well, correct?
Yeah. That Y keeps coming at us.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm really excited to listen to the new album. When does it come out, or has it come out already?
Well, we're going to be doing a Kickstarter in June, and the hopes is to have it released in July, August. So,
Yeah, I mean, July we'll be getting it out because we have the Feel Good House concert. We have Gold Hill on June 27th, and
the first show is at the St. Julian on May 13th.
May 13th. And then we have a Salto on July 2nd, just to do the local thing here.
Right.
Good.
And
July 2nd at Salto, May 13th at the St. Julian in Boulder, June 27th at the Gold Hill.
Gold Hill Inn, and there's a bunch of other stuff.
There's a bunch of stuff too. It's on our website if you go.
I'm just shooting at the most local right there.
Yeah, doesn't it feel good that stuff is slowly starting to happen again?
I feel like we're kind of dipping the toe in the water, it's just like
and the water should be at least lukewarm by then, which would be good.
Yeah, we're all vaccinated, so.
Yeah, we're ready to go, and I mean, it was so nice to write things with ink in the calendar.
Much gratitude to you both. It's really wonderful talking with you today. I can't wait to come by and see a show, as I hope our listeners do, and to check out the music. And for anybody out there itching to record, Ray's got a great ear for it and has an awesome studio, and Cari as well. Bird Nest Studio and the
StrangeByrds
10th anniversary. Thank you guys so much. This is Dango Rose with the Mountaineer podcast. And we'll hear you real soon.
Thank
you, Dango. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Dango. And a special thank you to Ray and Cari.
The Mountaineer has advertising packets that include print, social media, online, and podcast. Just email publisher1977@gmail.com for information on a marketing plan for all of your business needs.
The Mountain Man Outdoor Store carries new and used outdoor gear, Carhartts, Loki, Darn Tough socks, hats, gloves, goggles, helmets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and much more. They have everything you need as a Ned local and everything you didn't know you'd need when visiting Ned from afar. They're located at 20 East Lakeview Drive, Unit 111 in Nederland, and can be found at 303-258-3295.
The Peak to Peak Rotary Club in Gilpin County is hosting a drive-up food pantry food drive on Saturday, May 8th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Gilpin Food Pantry, north entrance of the Justice Center. This address is 2960 Dory Hill Road. All District 8 Rotary Clubs are doing a coordinated day of service on May 8th, including our sister clubs in Evergreen, Georgetown, Genesee, and Conifer. Each benefits their local food pantry. Requested donations include things like tuna, peanut butter, soups, mac and cheese, pasta, and sauce. They're also asking for alternative milk, butter, kid-friendly lunch foods, diapers sizes 3 and 4, and personal care items. Cash and check donations are also welcome.
Community champions have been announced. This week, we wrap up the list of the last of 18 nominees in the Mountaineer podcast. Today, it's the Lifetime Achievement honorees.
First up, we recognize Chris Current. Chris is the executive director for the Nederland Food Pantry. She has led the food pantry for more than 30 years, most recently through one of the most difficult times it's had to endure with the COVID-19 pandemic. The food pantry for the past year has been providing food for 3 times the normally expected number of households, distributing food from the community center parking lot regardless of the weather. Her work has helped our community survive COVID.
Current was also nominated by Sonia Bresch because, quote, she is the best, end quote. She's also nominated by Joseph DeVault for her tireless work in helping others.
And last, but certainly not least, we honor Hanson Winlet. Hanson has gone above and beyond being a pastor of a small town church. He has given his time way beyond expectation for the community. Pastors are often in the category of unsung heroes. Hanson, in my opinion, tops that list. His bringing people together has brought controversy. I don't know of many solid community improvements that do not bring controversy. For him, it has always been done with the vision of wanting to help our neighbors and improve the community as a whole. Hanson has done more for this community in 7.5 years than most do in decades of time. He deserves to be recognized and remembered by the Nederland community for his service and vision of a better Nederland.
Hanson Wendland was also nominated by Ressa Lively Smith. The nomination is for, quote, all his good work with the homeless in his community, for setting up socks and sandwiches to join the community and the homeless with goals and guidelines to make a more humane, cohesive, and informed community, end quote. Thank you to everyone that was nominated and all of the amazing champions we have in our Peak to Peak community. If you were nominated and your name and information were included in the print article and podcast, please email publisher1977@gmail.com. We'll send your gift certificate and printed certificate by mail or arrange for pickup in Nederland or Gilpin.
Visit Brightwood Music in Nederland for repairs to your stringed instruments. They will restring, clean, and test your 6-string acoustic guitar for $15 plus the cost of your choice of our wide variety of strings, starting at $8.99. Brightwood Music is family-owned and operated and has been a Nederland staple for over a decade. They are located at 20 East Lakeview Drive, Unit 109 in Nederland, and can be reached at 303-258-8863, or you can find them on Facebook at Brightwood Music.
Hart's Backhoe Service is your locally owned and operated excavating company working the Peak to Peak region. They take care of all your excavating needs, including septic installation, digging a new foundation, rock walls, construction, demolition, and so much more. They're now scheduling summer and fall projects as the weather gets warmer. You can reach them at 303-589-9354 or find them on Facebook at Hearts, H-A-R-D-T-S, Backhoe. For our final story today, we'll talk to Chyrisse Domenico about Boulder Valley School District and what the district is looking for headed into the next semester.
My name's Chyrisse Domenico. I'm the recruitment specialist at Boulder Valley School District in Human Resources. We are in need of bus drivers. We are looking to hire now through the start of school and hopefully able to fill around 60 positions. We have a transportation employment fair coming up on Saturday, May 8th. It'll be at Angevine Middle School, and that'll take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., where representatives from transportation will be on hand to meet and interview candidates for those positions. We do offer free CDL training for people coming in that do not currently hold a CDL. You would obviously need to have a driver's license. We're looking at about 20 to 30 hours per week. And right now our salary for bus drivers is between $19.35 and $26.67. And even at 20 hours, we offer free high-quality health and dental benefits. It's nice if maybe you're going to school right now midday or remotely, or, retirees who are just looking for something to do maybe in the morning and the afternoon in between their golf game or lunches, to come out and help support our kids.
So what's a better picture of what the school district looks like?
We have 56 schools and over 29,000 kids, and we span over approximately 500 miles over Boulder, Lafayette, Louisville, Broomfield, Erie, into Nederland as well. We're just looking to hire diverse candidates who bring unique perspectives and backgrounds and skill sets that'll help strengthen our mission. We're committed to the success of our staff, employees, community, and students. Boulder Valley is a great place to work. We were ranked number 1 on Forbes' Best In-State Employer list for 2020. We have a great sense of community and family and are just looking for people to join our team.
She described the bus driver team as a family unit and why this is crucial to student safety.
Actually, our transportation department, they are a very close-knit group. They spend a lot of time at the terminal. Some of them, instead of leaving midday, they stay and have lunch with each other and kind of have created a sense of family. And at the terminals, we have a group of people who really care about our school district, who care about our community and making sure that the kids stay safe and get to school and get home on time and that find their way to the bus stop safely. And we also have bus assistants who, with the drivers, take charge in that sense and get to know the kids and the families and make sure that they do get to school on time and safely. And that obviously starts the morning off right when kids get to school on time and get to their classrooms. It's a great sense of family and people who really care about the district and the people in it.
And here's where you can find out more.
If you go to jobs.bvsd.org, you'll see a pop-up where you can register for the transportation fair. We are doing it outdoors as of now, so it is in person and socially distanced. So, COVID safety protocols will be enforced. People can kind of come and go, and people there to help with filling out applications. You can see all of our jobs at jobs.bvsd.org. We have quite a few food service positions available. And right now is high season for teaching positions as well. But the high priority and push right now is definitely looking to hire bus drivers and bus assistants.
Thanks, Chyrisse, and check out the fair in early May to start the process of becoming a driver.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. And again, our transportation employment fair will be on Saturday, May 8th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Angevine Middle School, which is located at 1150 West South Boulder Road in Lafayette. Visit our jobs page at jobs.bvsd.org. So we're looking forward to seeing you and meeting you on the day of the fair. So thank you so much.
Out in the meadow, in tall grass, below the castle, dirt got wedged under our nails when we were little. Then we got taller, straight in the collar, learned to lament. If you can't sit still to feel unfulfilled, suddenly you're less than.
And that's all for this week's episode of the Mountaineer Podcast. All editions of the Mountaineer Podcast are available on our website at themountaineer.com.
Pick up this week's edition of The Mountaineer in print.
And be sure to go online for more local news. I'm Cynthia Davis.
I'm Art DeVitalis. Until next time, thank you for listening.
In a tragedy, in a mask, the calamity of monotony left to those who can't contrast.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak to Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.